Hello once again, everybody. It is me, Jonathan Antoine, and it's been a little while, hasn't it? I'm going to talk to you today, unedited and directly to camera, about my new project.
Jonathan Antoine's journey on Britain's Got Talent left a lasting impression with his extraordinary tenor voice and charismatic performance. His audition, where he showcased his remarkable vocal abilities, made him a fan favorite and earned him widespread acclaim. However, after his standout performance, many people were curious about his subsequent whereabouts and career trajectory. The speculation surrounding his absence from the show and subsequent public eye included rumors about conflicts or secret projects. However, the reality is that Jonathan Antoine has continued to make significant strides in his music career, albeit outside the immediate spotlight of reality TV. Following his Britain's Got Talent appearance, Jonathan Antoine released several albums including Tenore, 2014, and Believe, 2016. His post-show career has been marked by a dedication to classical and operatic music, which has garnered him a loyal following and critical praise. While he may not have been as visible in mainstream media as some might have expected, Antoine has maintained a successful career in the music industry, performing internationally and building on the foundation laid by his Britain's Got Talent debut. In recent years, he has continued to engage with his fans through social media and music releases, demonstrating his ongoing commitment to his craft. Despite the quieter periods and the absence from reality TV, Jonathan Antoine's journey reflects a dedicated artist who has pursued his passion for music and achieved success on his own terms. So, while he may not have continued on the Britain's Got Talent stage, Jonathan Antoine's career has certainly not ended. His evolution as a musician continues to be a testament to his talent and perseverance. Background and childhood of Jonathan Antoine. Jonathan Frederick Antoine was born on January 13, 1995, in Goodmayes, Essex. He is one of a family of four, with John, his father, who is a police inspector, his mom Tracy, and his older sister Charlotte. Always having been a creative and loving child, Jonathan was called an all-rounder due to his versatility in excelling in various subjects and media. At the age of 11, Antoine enrolled at West Hatch High School in Chigwell and met singing coach Jenny Ewington and head of music Jeanette Brown. He said, "I started having lessons with Mrs. Ewington and just took to it. It was so nurturing. She was inspirational, and she became a fantastic friend." After Antoine's voice broke around the age of 13, Ewington selected Bring Him Home from Les Miserables for him to perform at the 2010 Stratford and East London Music Festival, where he was named the Young Musician of the Year. He sang Ave Maria at the Royal Festival Hall in London as part of the Rotary Youth Makes Music event in 2011. At 14, Antoine auditioned for a junior place at the four major music conservatories in London. After being accepted at all of them, he chose the Royal Academy of Music. At West Hatch, Brown encouraged him into concert singing to help him overcome his shyness. Jonathan came into his own, she said. All the students would see him and say that he was the boy with the incredible voice. Did Jonathan's promising career turn out well? Did it go downhill from there? Join us as we dive deeper. Jonathan's early career, the rise to fame. Jonathan Antoine's talent resonated with audiences around the world, leading to the release of several successful albums. His music showcases his unique blend of classical and contemporary styles, captivating listeners with each heartfelt note. Jonathan Antoine rose to fame after auditioning for Britain's Got Talent in 2012 as part of the duo Jonathan and Charlotte. Their breathtaking performance of The Prayer wowed the judges and the audience, launching them into the spotlight. Jonathan Antoine has released several solo albums, including Tenor in 2014, Believe in 2016, and Going the Distance in 2018. These albums showcase his incredible vocal abilities and unique artistry. Jonathan Antoine is known for his impressive vocal range, spanning from bass to tenor. His ability to effortlessly transition between low and high notes adds depth and power to his performances. Jonathan, who was only 17 when he appeared on the 2012 show with his singing partner Charlotte Giaconelli, has gone through a notable transformation. The singing duo wowed everyone and made it to the finals, finishing second place to Ashley and Pudsey. After appearing on BGT, Jonathan got himself at the top of the classical artist album chart with his first solo album, Tenor. He's also had the chance to work with well-known operatic tenor Rolando Villazon from Mexico and the pianist Leone Maggiera from Italy, who used to work with Pavarotti. How Jonathan was bullied. Overweight, badly dressed, and with fragile mental health. Operatic singer Jonathan Antoine was vulnerable when he stepped onto the stage at Britain's Got Talent in 2012. As he faced the judgment of Simon Cowell and millions of viewers, there were fears he would endure the same fate as Susan Boyle, who suffered a breakdown after the pressures of the show. Since he and his singing partner Charlotte Giaconelli came second in the talent contest, his mental and physical health has been transformed. Instead, the 21st teenager overcame his demons and began to blossom. His depression lifted, and he now credits the show with rescuing him from suicide. In the summer of 2013, Jonathan left West Hatch to take up a musical scholarship in the sixth form of Forest School in Chigwell, where fees are £14,500 a year. But things did not work out. He told interviewers, "I sort of had a nervous breakdown in October. I left the school I was at Forest and rejoined the school I was at previously, West Hatch. But then I couldn't handle that either, so I'm currently not at school." Forest School declined to comment. Its rules state, the school stands firmly against bullying. Jonathan, who is still seeing a psychiatrist, has also had to endure the unkind nickname, Sue Boy, a reference to Susan Boyle, 51. The singer who reached the 2009 Britain's Got Talent final and came second, despite being mocked for her appearance. Mrs. Brown, one of his school teachers, said that West Hatch School had tried its best to help Jonathan through his recent problems, adding, "I have seen him grow in confidence immensely since I first met him. He is a different man when he is on stage. It is somewhere where he can be somebody, empowered and appreciated. He takes on a different character. It is awe-inspiring. I hope this television experience and every performing opportunity we gave him has helped him feel more confident. Whatever happens now, I hope they enjoy long careers as musical artists. They are wonderful kids and they deserve all the wonderful things that come from this." Jonathan previously confessed that appearing on BGT saved his life. Speaking to the Daily Mail shortly after he and Charlotte finished his second place, Jonathan admitted, "Britain's Got Talent pretty much saved my life. Before then, I was suicidal and so depressed that I was self-harming. I dropped out of sixth form and my parents wouldn't leave me alone at home as they thought I'd try to take my own life. I felt so low it was almost impossible to describe. It was like I had nothing to live for. It was the darkest period of my life. But everything changed from the moment I went on the show. I was elated. Suddenly everything seemed different. When you're depressed, it's impossible to see a way out. But I now had a purpose." Jonathan's problems began when he started being bullied at school. "I've been overweight for as long as I can remember, and I stood out because of my size," he recalls. "Kids can be horrible and they would pick on me about my weight. It damaged my confidence, and while I tried not to let it show, I think that led to my depression. Being bullied just sucks the life out of you." By the time Jonathan was 14, his low self-esteem had escalated into depression. "I shut myself off from the world and lived in my own head," he says. "I've always felt different from everyone else, and I felt cut off and excluded. I didn't tell anyone how I felt. I just kept pushing it down inside me. But suppressing his distress only deepened the condition. In 2010, Jonathan began self-harming. I'd cut the skin on my arms and stomach as I hated myself and was angry at myself for even existing. It was also a way of making the emotional pain a physical pain, which seemed somehow easier to deal with. Things grew even worse in 2011 when he moved to a new private school to study for A-levels and was suddenly thrown into a new social mix with a heavier workload and longer days. Jonathan dropped out of school and confessed his problems to his parents. According to him, it was only then, after all those years, that he ended up spilling out all his thoughts and feelings. The first time he had openly come out as depressed, he testified about the support of his parents, saying, "My parents were amazing. They helped me through it, and once they knew I was suicidal, they never left me home alone." They also took him to Loxford Hall Psychiatric Unit in Ilford, Essex, where he began seeing a psychiatrist who also prescribed the antidepressant Prozac. Shedding more light on his treatment process, he admitted that he saw a few different psychiatrists, then found one he clicked with. At first, he was in such a state that he couldn't even form sentences as the emotions were so strong. But after a while, he felt able to speak about everything. His psychiatrist got him immediately and they just talked. 10 years down the line, Jonathan, now 29, still lives in Hainault, London with his family, according to reports. Charlotte Giaconelli. Born on August 24, 1995 in Chigwell, Essex, she developed a love for singing after being enrolled in stage school classes by her mother at the age of 4. Giaconelli was paired with Antoine by her high school singing teacher. When the duo auditioned for Britain's Got Talent, she was studying musical theatre at the Arts Educational Schools in London, while he was training as a classical singer at the Royal Academy. Charlotte Giaconelli is an actress from London, England. She shot to fame at the age of 16 on the UK talent show Britain's Got Talent as one half of the pop opera duo Jonathan and Charlotte. She has gained global success after signing to Sony Music, selling over 1 million albums worldwide, ranking up over 300 million views on YouTube, and performing in venues all across the globe. Charlotte works extensively across TV and theatre, working within some of London's most highly rated venues and companies such as the RSC and the Donmar Warehouse. Charlotte is a big advocate for body positivity and representation in the entertainment industry, and recently called for there to be HR help for theatre performers. The duo is born Jonathan and Charlotte team up. Both were unknown before Britain's Got Talent, but were paired together at West Hatch High School in Chigwell, Essex, by the school's singing coach, Jenny Ewington. Their head of music, Jeanette Tomlinson, talked about choosing the song that first skyrocketed their performance together. According to her, it started with a music teacher's request for 2 of her pupils to sing at her wedding. Jeanette Brown chose the song The Prayer, and teenagers Jonathan Antoine and Charlotte Giaconelli performed it at her church ceremony. When the pair sang the same duet to audition for Britain's Got Talent, their performance earned acclaim from the television show's judges and the public. It propelled them into the final, watched by millions. Sealing the transformation of Jonathan, 17, from a shy schoolboy to a confident tenor with a promising career ahead of him. 2 things have helped Jonathan through his difficulties: the confidence instilled by performing and the support of his singing partner, Charlotte. Jonathan Antoine and Charlotte Giaconelli's music teacher has told of her pride in their success and of how the teenagers sang the prayer at her wedding. On the way, Jonathan has had to overcome a series of hurdles. He faced years of bullying about his 20-stone weight, which led to him suffering a breakdown last autumn. When he first took to the stage on Britain's Got Talent, Simon Cowell, the notoriously harsh judge, took one glance and muttered, "Just when you thought it couldn't get any worse." His initial success on the show brought a challenge of a different kind when Cowell told him he would do better by dropping Charlotte and carrying on as a soloist. Jonathan refused, declaring, "We've come on here as a duo and we're going to stay here as a duo." For these he can thank 2 teachers, Mrs. Brown, head of music at West Hatch Comprehensive in Chigwell, Essex, who put him forward for roles, and Jenny Ewington, the school's singing coach, who paired the 2 youngsters together. Their part in Jonathan's development can now be revealed. Preparing to watch the Britain's Got Talent final, Mrs. Brown said, "I am exceptionally proud. I chose the prayer because I thought it would showcase their talents. I thought it was a beautiful piece. I hoped they might sing it at my wedding to about 100 people. I never imagined that I would one day be sitting in my lounge watching 2 very dear students whom I had seen grow up singing that song to millions on national television." Mrs. Brown, in her 20s, has known the pair since she arrived at the school in 2007. Charlotte was already lively and confident. Jonathan, then 12, a policeman's son from Hainault, East London, was shyer. He was quite introverted, but he was a very sweet boy then, and he still is now. She believes he has benefited from her approach of putting on as many school musical performances as possible to build up every pupil's confidence in the way that only a stage ovation can. One key moment for Jonathan, she believes, was the school's 2009 summer concert when, as his voice was developing into a tenor, he sang "Bring Him Home" from the musical Les Miserables. Watching in the school hall, Mrs. Brown was reduced to tears. Jonathan just came into his own. People were amazed by his talent. They started to sit up and notice, she said. All students of all years would see him and say, "That's Jonathan Antoine, the boy with the incredible voice." The younger students would be telling him, "Oh, Jonathan, you were brilliant in the concert last night." He has just developed and improved since then. For all of us, music is a powerful, beautiful thing in times of hardship. And receiving the love and appreciation of a crowd, there's nothing like that as a performer. It helps him with confidence. It helps him to be appreciated as a singer for his voice. The Prayer, originally performed by Andrea Bocelli and Celine Dion, was a key song for them in their rise to fame, as it was noted that they sang it several times, giving an emotional experience to their listeners. They first sang it for their GCSE and also at their teacher's church wedding ceremony, then Britain's Got Talent. Before shooting to fame on the hit TV show, Charlotte was training full-time in musical theatre at the Arts Educational Schools, London, while Jonathan was training classically at the Royal Academy of Music part-time as a junior. Britain's Got Talent audition. Their first Britain's Got Talent performance together was in the Series 6 audition held in London, aired 24 March 2012. There they began the contest as Charlotte and Jonathan and sang The Prayer. Although all judges were deeply impressed by the performance, Simon Cowell advised Jonathan he should dump the, in his opinion, less talented Charlotte, considering she would hold him back in the competition. But the pair remained together, and the act's name was reversed. The similarities to Britain's Got Talent debut and initial judge and audience reaction to Susan Boyle were noted by many. It was almost a case of déjà vu. An overweight, badly dressed contestant lumbers awkwardly onto Britain's Got Talent stage, prompting the judges to roll their eyes at the inevitable car crash of a performance to follow, only to be wowed by the powerful, pitch-perfect voices of the unlikely stars. Simon Cowell noted that Jonathan's voice sounded as good as Luciano Pavarotti's, and he hadn't heard such a superb opera voice in years. They participated in the semi-final, which was held on the 7th of May 2012. The song performed as a duet was Caruso, written by Lucio Dalla. The judges commented on their performances, and Alicia Dixon said, "Charlotte, there was a lot of pressure on you tonight, and let me tell you, you held your own. You started that song so beautifully. And this is a special friendship, and there is a special chemistry between you. And when you sang, Jonathan, I felt that in every part of my body." Amanda Holden continued by saying that it was just a tour de force, and though she didn't see them the first time during the first audition, she watched the YouTube clip like everyone else, and it blew her back into her seat. According to her, she has always appreciated their friendship, and though she kind of leaned towards what Simon said in the audition, she saw how they work beautifully together. Simon Cowell went by saying that there was a lot at stake there, and like he said at the first audition, he believed Charlotte was holding Jonathan back. And her deciding to stay together with Jonathan, he had to say, was the best decision she ever made. He told them that he understood their chemistry and understood the support from Charlotte, saying that she sang well. He finished by admitting that that was one of his favorite ever Britain's Got Talent performances. David Walliams concluded the praise by telling the duo, "Well done for proving Simon wrong." And though he had no clue about what they were singing about, he wanted to cry. He told them that they were such fantastic singers and could be winners on Saturday night, the night of the contest award. In the final, held on the 12th of May 2012, they appeared 11th again performing The Prayer and received a standing ovation for their performance. Fans expressed disappointment that the duo did not win first place, but Charlotte responded by saying, "Oh my God, we came second out of 70,000 people. It's incredible. It's been amazing." It was confirmed the day after, on the 13th of May 2012, that Simon Cowell was in negotiations to offer Jonathan and Charlotte a £1 million recording contract with his record label, Psycho. They said they would be pleased to accept the contract, although also wanted to do some musical theater in the future. The pair were later offered a contract which would see them release their debut album around Christmas. Their debut album together was released on the 24th of September 2012 in the UK. The album was officially released in the US on the 30th of October 2012. A documentary following the young teenager's success since the show was aired on ITV on the 2nd of November 2012 at 9 p.m. It focuses on how the two British teenagers rose to fame and what has happened since. It also includes interviews with those who knew them best. They tour Italy and France, aiming to complete their musical education, a finishing school for talent show graduates. They receive invaluable guidance from Luciano Pavarotti's vocal coach, Leon Maggiera, at his beautiful Bologna penthouse. They see the home of Italian opera, La Scala, and in Paris are inspired by a masterclass with acclaimed tenor pop star, to opera stars Rolando Villazon. The singers are reunited with their old nemesis, Simon Cowell, who apologizes for the mistake he made in suggesting they split. They also receive career advice from Katherine Jenkins, and at the Classic Brits, host Mylene Klass congratulates them on their chart success. Their second album was released on the 14th of October 2013. Giaconelli described the album as an album of covers. Some classical songs, but also pieces that are less predictable than our first album. There are our interpretations of more modern songs like You Got the Love by Florence and the Machine and Falling Slowly from the musical Once. She also stated that they recorded some solo songs. The split, no more duo singing. In February 2014, the duo decided to split after both having been offered solo record deals by Sony Classical. Jack and Ellie, at 18, during an interview, told The Standard, "We went to discuss our third album with Sony and sat there going through our repertoire trying to agree on songs. At the end of the meeting, we both realized that we couldn't agree on anything. The label then said, 'Why not do 2 separate albums?' According to her, she thought at that moment that it was something that would put the spinner in the works. Going further, she explained that she and Jonathan sat there and both realized that they wanted to do different things. They went away and thought about it for a month, and making the decision was emotional. Appeasing the fans, she reassured them that just because they don't make music together, they will never see each other again. She also pointed out that it was sad because they've been through such a massive journey together and had always had each other to rely on." Giaconelli was speaking as she performed her first solo show at Century Club in Soho, and ahead of the new Britain's Got Talent series, which was to begin shortly. She said of her emotional audition with Antoine that they were in different places on that show. She was only 16, and Johnny was going through a difficult time. Neither of them could have gotten through the show without the other. Finally, she admitted that being on your own now is scary more than sad. It's almost like starting again. Charlotte released her first solo album, Solitaire, in July 2014. Jonathan released his first solo album, Tenor, in October 2014. In a statement on their website, Jonathan and Charlotte said, "We have had the most exciting journey together ever since meeting at West Hatch High School in 2006, and are so happy for each other." To come second on BGT and sell over 250,000 albums was beyond our wildest dreams. To now be offered our solo record deals by Sony Classical is the most exciting thing ever, and we are thrilled to be going back into the recording studio so soon. For those who voted for us, bought our CDs and saw us in concert, thank you. We hope to see you soon at our shows. Love, Jonathan and Charlotte. According to Charlotte, it was sad and scary, but also a chance for both of them to grow up. They've been Jonathan and Charlotte since they were 14 and have never been anything else. But ending it after working together for 7 days a week for so long was so upsetting. Many people hoped for a more romantic end to the partnership, but Charlotte insists they were only ever friends. Sadly, Jonathan no longer talks to Charlotte, 26, saying they haven't spoken for years. But Jonathan once hinted at a possible reunion in another 20 years. Jonathan's struggle with weight and his recent transformation. Besides several career twists and relationship issues, one significant change that stands out most is Jonathan's appearance. Britain's Got Talent star Jonathan Antoine is hardly recognizable more than a decade after enchanting the judges with his stunning performance. He has lost a remarkable amount of weight after making big changes to his lifestyle and eating habits. He admitted that he previously lacked discipline, but has since revealed, "I've still got a lot to lose, but I'm making my way. I feel stronger and healthier than I have in 10 years, which is a lot. This year I've made an active choice. I've felt I've lacked the discipline a lot. When I was out in America, it was fast food everywhere. I was in a terrible state at the start of the year, and I've been able to claw my way back doing light exercise." He continued, "I'm a very big fella, so heavy exercise would just tear me up. I'm working my way up, thinking about what I eat because that is important." Jonathan has been walking a whopping 10,000 steps every day, even if it means going round and round in his room, and he feels like he's really living life now. The singer added, "For a long time I was just experiencing life, letting life live me, trying to find the next pleasure. Taking control of your own life, grabbing the world with your hands feels amazing. Thank you for watching. Check out another interesting video by clicking on the link appearing on your screen right now. See you on the other side."